welcome everybody to another exciting episode of Multiplayer, episode 62. Oh man, we are getting up there. I am your host, Zack Matscanis, alongside the one, the only, because there's only one other person on this, Kayhan Damavandi.
What's up, guys? Shaka Brown. What's up, guys? How's it going?
Yo. And remember, Multiplayer is all over the place in your ears and in your face. You can check us out on podcast services everywhere, along with YouTube at youtube.com/multiplayer, where you can subscribe and all that fun stuff and check out our ugly mugs. And you can check out what Kayhan is doing over on his side. Man, let me tell you something. This man, he has set up a Sony A7 R2 Mark II.
Yes.
Jeez. Like, I'm over here with my little, like, $50 webcam. I'm like, oh, yeah, it's 1080. This is a good time. This man, he has set up, like, you know, a real camera, and it looks like he's got some professional lighting going on over here as well.
Strive for excellence.
Like, yeah, I mean, I feel, I'm feeling a little outmatched in the video department right now. So if you want to see like just how good Kayhan is at lighting himself, go ahead and check out our YouTube at youtube.com/multiplayer. You can see that professional style he's going for. But it doesn't matter what the camera is. It's all about the setting.
Yes.
And if you're looking at mine, look at all this stuff.
Next time we'll just green screen it. I'll just green screen next time. More video games and shit.
Yep, that's right. So, so basically this week it's just me and Kayhan. Joe and Hav, they're kind of out with butt cooties.
Yeah.
I think
that's what it's called?
They gave it to...
Is that what it's called?
They gave it to each other.
Yeah.
They gave each other butt cooties, and, they're quarantining themselves right now so they don't spread butt cooties to others. It is quite a devastating illness to the butt region. And,
2 out of 4 people have it, and they're the 2 people in our group that have it, unfortunately. Yeah.
We wish them a well recovery of the
booty cooties. It's called booty cooties. Yeah.
Oh, booty cooties.
Yeah. Oh god.
And but I will say we have a secret special guest this week. From the legendary series Duke Nukem, we have our boy Duke Nukem in the house.
My name's Duke Nukem. This is KTIT, K-Tit, playing the best tunes in town.
Yeah.
Oh man, it is great to talk to you, Duke Nukem. Thanks for being here and talking to us.
Quit wasting my time.
Okay, Duke Nukem. All right, we're moving on. All right. So, Duke, you can just pop in anytime you want if you want to like just throw an insult at us or something like that. Until then, we'll just kind of
get back to work, you slacker.
Oh shit.
Okay, Duke. Jeez, I'm all right.
What a dick.
So, all right. So I think we have some fun things to talk about this week. And you know what? Before we do that, I forgot to set my little timer so I know how long we've been going. There we go. Okay, so now my timer's going. We have Duke Nukem in the background for any time we need his beautiful voice. And let's get into talking about some things. So we have a few things we're going to talk about this week. We're going to talk about Worms, which we're getting to in a second. But also, I just want to talk about the new consoles coming out and a few stories there. But let's start with Worms. We have got Worms. Not butt cooties. Very different situation. We have Worms.
Yeah.
That's right. So for the people out there that are like, what are you talking about? We're talking about Worms Rumble, which is a new game in the Worms franchise. And if you're like, what on earth is the Worms franchise? You would not be the only person. I would say a lot of people do not know what Worms is, and it is just very sad. It's a very sad situation to know that not enough people play this series. So Team 7, they have a series called Worms, and it's been going on for like, gosh,
forever.
Probably 35 years they've been making these games, and they're strategy. They're like turn-based strategy games, like head-to-head strategy games, where it's you basically play as like 4 little worms on a map, and you take turns trying to kill each other with bazookas and holy hand grenades and explosive sheep and rocket launchers and all sorts of crazy stuff. And this is a series that's been close to my heart kind of my whole life. I mean, I used to play these games back on the PC back in the day, and then kind of the GameCube era. There was Worms 3D, which I fell in love with, and then they kind of for consoles anyways started coming out with some of the 2D games. There's actually one for the DS that I loved, and I'm trying to remember the name of it now. Open Warfare, I think it was. That was probably my favorite in the series. But yeah, so this series is it's been around for a minute, and Team 17 has made a new one, but it's a little different this time. It's a battle royale game because we haven't gotten enough of those. So yeah, basically at the time of this recording, there's an open beta. By the time you hear this, lovely people out there, this beta will no longer be around. So sorry. Yeah. But don't worry, I'll post an Instagram post today and be like, hey, everybody play this beta, because it's actually pretty decent. So I wanted to get into this a little bit, this little open beta that's going on this weekend of Sunday, November 8th, when we are recording this. So I mean, I've been playing this weekend, and I have some thoughts. But Kayhan, let's start with you. I know it's kind of fresh in your brain right now. I wanted to kind of get your thoughts and ideas and opinions on this, and you can kind of kick us off with an idea of what this battle royale kind of is as well.
Yeah, so basically it's actually like games I played on Congregate. There's a lot of 2D like platformer online multiplayer like deathmatch games. That's basically it's not like a 3D like open world thing. It's more like a 2D platformer, but you're in like an open lobby and you just shoot each other. So I guess that makes it like a battle royale. As far as the gameplay, it felt cool, but at the end of the day, it's like without the worm skin, I wouldn't have known this was a Worms game, because the whole point of the Worms game is turn-based, and this is like absolutely not that. It just has the Worms, like, the characters and the costumes. That's why it's a Worms game. But beyond that, it's just like one of those internet games you play where you're in a lobby in a 2D platformer, and it's like a royale game, so you just shoot each other. It's fun. I mean, it's pretty fun. The animations are cool, but the Battle Royale games have been kind of dying out for me, and I've never wanted to play this kind of Battle Royale game with the Worms license especially. I was hoping they'd make a more strategy-based game, but this is kind of like but this is more balls to the wall. This is like way more fast-paced than the other Battle Royale games, because you get into the fight like within the first like 5 seconds. It's not like you take like an hour to get somewhere. So maybe I do like that, because it's more like internet-based. So maybe I like this game. Maybe it doesn't suck, actually. Maybe... But I don't know. I think, I just think overall 6 out of 10. Yeah.
6 out of 10 from
6.5.
So you've played some other Worms games in the past?
Yeah, I played a few of them. I was actually going to mention before, the first one was like 1995. Like, it's old. Yeah. But I played one, I think maybe like, I forget how many there were, but I played one in between that time period, because I had one on my really old PC at my parents' house, and we had a Worms game, I remember, but I don't remember which specific one it was. I just know it was strategy based, and it was like turn based. That's what I liked about it, because you had to like think about it, and you can like plan your attacks ahead. But yeah, this is just them cashing in. It's kind of sad. I think every game is doing that, because a lot of games I remember now are just like following trends instead of setting new trends or just having their identity, but you need money, I guess, so makes sense. Sure.
Yeah, and if I had to guess the old PC Worms game you played, it was probably Worms Armageddon. Like if I had to guess, that was kind of the big one.
When did that come out? Worms Armageddon?
That's a great question.
Let me see if I can. 1999. You know what? No, this is the one I would play. This is the one.
Yeah.
Wow, you guessed it.
Yeah, that's kind of like when people kind of think back fondly of the Worms franchise for PC. that's kind of the big one that I feel like really set the standard for the Worms series, and the one a lot of people played. Yeah, I mean, Worms Armageddon is like incredible.
It's 9 out of 10 on Steam. That's really good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a fantastic game. It holds up.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for something fun, what's it cost on Steam right now?
Wow, $15. Never mind.
Well, maybe it's a little much for a game from '99, but you know,
a pirate's life for me. Yikes!
Out pops the pirate puppet.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Next time. Damn.
Next time. So yeah. So basically, I wanted to get your take on it. Basically, some of my thoughts. You know, kind of like you said, Kayhan. It's a battle royale game. It's essentially like a 2D side scroller. Basically, if you've ever played the Worms games, like the 2D Worms games, you know, you're always just kind of walking side to side. So you kind of have that. And I feel like this game, they, you know, when they were developing it, they were like, okay, let's have the animation sort of look like a 2D version of Splatoon.
Yeah.
And
very wet and loose and
and just I don't know, the kind of the graphical style, especially in the main menu and stuff when you're looking at your worms.
Yeah.
I feel like anytime they have the big colorful headphones on, it's like, oh, this just reminds me of Splatoon. Like,
yeah.
You know, it's so it's like a mix of like that look and like funny costumes from something like Fall Guys, because you know you just have like worm characters that kind of look like the weird bean people from Fall Guys.
Yeah.
So you just got like funny like dinosaur outfits and all sorts of stuff, and then you mix that with, you know, obviously the sort of the 2D side-scrolling elements of Worms, but with like the movement speed and kind of the, what's the word I'm looking for here? The ability to just kind of jump around like a crazy person, like in Apex Legends.
Yeah.
I feel like it's like pretty similar to that, where it's like you're like rolling and you're doing like wall jumps up the walls, and then you have like a jetpack and then a grapple hook, and then you'll come from somebody from above and, you know, mow them down with a shotgun.
Yeah.
It just feels like it's got the pace and speed of that game without like the little babies hiding in a corner that think they're like really good at the game.
Yeah. No campers. But that's the thing. They removed basically all the elements that made Worm cool or like different.
Yeah.
Because then they basically just made it like, instead of thinking about your decisions, you go full balls to the wall, attack, and everyone's just running around every corner shooting rockets and everything. And you're rolling and running. But like running, or I forget when they added the sprint or whatever other elements, but when they added like the movement, that was a big part of Worms as a tactic. Like you move a certain amount and then you have to stop. And if you choose the wrong path, you get screwed over. But this is like, like I said, you're Assassin Creeding up a wall. You're like fucking Mirror's Edge, like rolling around. And it just seems like there's too much mobility. And now you can't even, like, before you get your bearings, someone's already like right behind you shooting you. And it's just, I feel like it's more Twitch. It's like really Twitch gameplay. It's like Call of Duty. There you go. It's like 2D Call of Duty, actually. That's exactly what it feels like to me. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I kind of made like the, you know, the comparison to Apex Legends, just because it's like, it's kind of Twitch based. You're jumping around. You got grapple hooks and stuff. It's just, it's kind of got that feeling to it. And the old Worms games, like one of the things I loved about it was like the movement, like because you're a worm, and that's kind of the joke, is like you're just like scooching across the screen so slow, and like your jump is so crappy, and it's just, it's hilarious. And you know, so I definitely, so a couple things here. I know I'm kind of all over the place, but probably because I've had too much coffee. So just a couple thoughts here with this. It's like, I really enjoyed my time with the game. I think it was a lot of fun. It's, you know, you kind of jump right in. I was mostly just playing deathmatch just because of the early level caps. I mean, you're kind of jumping around. You can basically set up traps with different weapons. You can kind of, if you see that people are battling on the screen, because it's like a 2D side scroller, so you can kind of see people from far away battling and kind of approach them from different areas, because there's a lot of like all these levels are like multi-layered, so and there's like secret areas too, like air ducts and stuff like that, so you can kind of get real sneaky with it. Sneak through an air duct where nobody can see you,
or elevators,
elevators. You can kind of pop in from above with like a shotty and just like blow people away, or like a rocket launcher, or one of the guns I had a lot of fun with was the sheep launcher, which if you don't know, if you don't know the Worms franchise, you have these homing sheep that you'll just like launch this thing out of a bazooka, and it's just like an explosive sheep that'll like chase you down. And so so they make a bunch of crazy noise, and then they do some devastating damage. So that was something really fun, where I would just launch like 2 sheep. They'd be chasing somebody's down, and he's trying to like destroy the sheep before they they get hit with like an Uzi or something. They're like, like backing up trying to shoot these sheep. And then I would swap to my machine gun or my shotty or something and just start unloading on them while they're trying to deal with the sheep.
Yeah.
So, there's some pretty fun tactics in there, and I could see how, the more you play, just like any battle royale game, like the more you play, the better you get at the levels, and you kind of know, like, okay, if I go to these areas, I can kind of get the jump on people, or I can kind of bait people into coming this way. Like, one thing I did that was hilarious is that you can get these like auto sentry turrets.
Yeah.
And I took these things and I placed them inside of like an air duct that, you can't see the air inside the air duct unless you jump into it.
Yeah.
So I would there were a bunch of people that kept coming down the same alley. So I would shoot at them and bait them, and then they would jump into the air duct to chase me. And there's I mean, dude, they just kept coming. So I was like, all right, I'm going to set up right here for a minute.
Oh, man.
But once you're in that air duct, you're kind of screwed. So like these 2 turrets were just like mowing people down as, like the bodies were just racking up. And first playthrough, man, first place. Woo!
God damn it.
So all my worm skills are,
the only,
it's like riding a bike.
I think
riding a worm bike.
I think I have a problem. Some of these beta games that are like battle royale or like shooters, even like Call of Duty, when they release a beta like Worms and people play the maps, I only play the one map, the one with the elevator. Is there more than one, or just the one right now?
I think it's just that one.
Oh, because
like I said, I only played Deathmatch. So
that's what I played. Oh, it's a different map for different modes or something.
Maybe. I'm not sure.
But like, my thing is, when you play the beta, if people play it a lot, because people already have cosmetics and other stuff I see, but like if you play this a lot, once the game gets released, that map is instantly going to become tired for the people that play hard into the game. Like Call of Duty, like the other one, like Cold War or whatever, when they release the game, those maps are going to be exploited. People are going to know, even in Worms, like where elevator, where it's good to hide at. So I'm kind of hoping they not change the map, but like they add more at launch, like a few maps at least, because that map's going to be done. Like everyone's going to know where to go to immediately to hide and like, or whatever. So that's my only thing.
If I had to guess, they would probably they're probably going to have some maps at launch, because it's like a 2D game, so it's a little easier to just build a map versus like a 3D, like something like Apex Legends, where those maps take like a super long time to build.
Yeah, because
it's a giant 3D map. But I would say there's I'm no programmer, but I would have to guess those 2D maps are a little easier to make, and Team 17's always been really good at like Worms map designs.
Yeah,
I actually really like the map that I played as well. I thought that was a lot of fun. There's a lot of like secret areas.
Yeah,
I thought just in general, like the map design just looked interesting. There's like a nice 3D element to it, where the background has a lot of kind of texture and design, and kind of something like the Rayman Legends game, or like Ori, kind of have this nice like 3D visual to it. For a 2D game. So I was really I kind of like that look of it. I would say my biggest gripe is, man, I love regular Worms games.
Yeah.
I wish
Well, no,
I think,
you love the Worms game because this absolutely is not a Worms game. That's the thing. It has the Worms title and it's the Worms IP, but it's absolutely not a Worms game.
Yeah,
that's why.
I wish they had made this like one
mode.
Basically, one mode in a bigger game where it's like here's like the all out. You can move around and be a crazy person mode, Call of Duty style, just Twitch based, mow people down.
Yeah.
But I would love to see their version of a battle royale that's a turn based game. That would actually be pretty interesting to see. Where it's like, I think about things like Mario 35 and Tetris 99, that they took the formula of their game and made a battle royale that's just so different than anything else that's out there.
Would that not be too slow? Like, would that not be like Civilizations, where there's like, or like Total War Online, where you're waiting for like 50 turns for people to do all their actions, and then would that not be, or because you can't continuously, you can't have everyone move at the same time, right? So you'd have to like figure out turns.
But that's what I would want them to crack the code of.
Yeah.
It's something, like I said, like Mario 35. If a couple months ago you came to me and was like, hey, do you think Nintendo could pull off a battle royale game with Super Mario Brothers? I'd be like, no, that doesn't even make sense. Like, how would you do that? But they got really creative and figured out a way.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's kind of cool. I would love to see, like Team 17, they can be really creative when they want to be. So I would love to see them take a crack at crack the code of like a turn-based Worms game in a battle royale format. It's just, something like that just seems pretty interesting to me. But just kind of is what it is. But like I said, I enjoyed my time with the game. I'm probably gonna play a little more today after we record. Get a couple more trophies under my belt.
Yeah.
A couple more
camp in the corner
place.
with the turret. Yeah, and you'd be like,
oh yeah, baby. No, actually, because I was just trying out different things in some of those playthroughs, and so I was like messing around with strategies like that, but also strategies of like getting in people's faces as well. So it's like, let me try this more tactical stuff. Let me set up some traps and like lure people to me, and that was working really well. But then I was like, let me get the grapple hook or the jetpack, and those things are super deadly. Like, you'll jetpack over somebody and just mow them down with. I mean, the shotty in this game is unreal.
It's pretty OP. I got one shot by one of those. Someone walked up behind me like 1 second, shot me, and they went away. And I was like, oh
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty sweet where it's like you could just get in somebody's face so fast with the shotgun and the jetpack, or like, heck, you could literally just start chasing people down and just start dropping sheeps that are chasing them down, and then just switch guns to like a machine gun and just start popping at them. It's just, I don't know. I was having some fun with that game, so I hope it comes out and finds an audience and continues to thrive as just like another option for a battle royale game. And I didn't do my homework. I didn't double check if it was free to play or not.
Yeah, I was about to ask what was the launch price. Hold on a second, let me see. It should say.
Yeah, see if you can pull it up real quick if you can.
Price. Oh,
quit wasting my time.
Fuck you, Duke. Dick Lickum. It's $14.99, which actually isn't bad at all.
No, that's not too bad. I'll
definitely see the game modes again. I'll look at how many modes they have, because again, 32 battle royale is pretty cool. But if that's really the main attraction, is that it's just a 32 battle royale game and it's just deathmatch or like team deathmatch, that seems kind of cool. But I feel like for $15, I'd want something. They gotta include that as a mode. They gotta include the classic Worms gameplay as a mode or something. Even if it's a single player story, just like a remastered version, basically, of like, I don't know. Because there's already, like I said, there's internet games that do it for free. So if they're charging $15 and they're like abandoning their classic, what their fans love, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, it's definitely something where I'm not a fan of free-to-play games, but in the case of games that are like online only, I kind of like the free-to-play format because it gets more people into the game, into the servers, and it'll find an audience of people that maybe would not have dropped $15, especially like kids. You know, like, man, if Fortnite was $15 when it came out, who knows if it would have blown up like it did?
It wouldn't. It definitely would not have. I know that none of my friends would even touch that game if it was $15. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, I probably never would have touched it either.
Well, Minecraft wasn't
like,
Minecraft free too? Minecraft was free at launch too, right? And then they started charging money for it. It was. I
don't think so.
Really? I
think that one's always been. Yeah, that's always. You've had to pay money for it. I don't think it's ever been like free to play or anything.
Maybe there was a beta for it or something. I remember either it was like dirt cheap or it was super cheap, because I know I got surprised when they started charging money for every single console, like cell phones that cost money, everything. But yeah.
I think they have had like free weekends and stuff like that.
Oh,
for the game,
yeah, that might be it.
And I'm assuming it's free on Game Pass.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, need to move on, but I will say Worms is amazing. If you don't know Worms, please go play some Worms games. Please, like everybody out there in the world, play some Worms games. Try Worms Rumble, because why not?
Get some worms.
It's a pretty fun game.
Yeah.
Get some worms in your life.
Yeah.
You haven't lived till you've had worms.
Yeah.
So let's move off of Worms and move on to the consoles, the new consoles coming out. So, like I said, today is Sunday the 8th as we record this. We have new consoles coming out this very next week. We have the Xbox Series S and X coming out on November 10th, and we have the PlayStation 5 coming out November 12th, and it's just a few days away. It's kind of crazy. Next gen is here. Yeah, it's the next generation, guys.
Yeah.
So, reviews have been kind of coming out for the consoles, and everybody's had pretty good things to say about both the Xbox and the PS5, despite Xbox not really having any games at launch.
New titles. Yeah. Wow, it's better than my other console. It's faster. Wow.
But you have no games to play.
Yeah.
So, just a little bit of shade towards Xbox, but they'll get there. I know they will.
Yeah, they'll become a gaming console once they release some games again. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, so everybody's talking about like the new systems and the new features, like the SSD, especially on the PS5, like the haptic feedback, which
that's good.
Everybody seems to love the haptic feedback, and the 3D audio seems to be pretty interesting stuff too. And I'm gonna get to my dumb headphones here in a minute, but before we get to that stupid story, I want to kind of talk about the features that nobody's talking about because they're not selling points for these new systems, nor these new consoles don't have these features. Because it's like when I think about like what I want from a new console, like things like haptic feedback, I think is super cool. Obviously, things like 3D audio is like really interesting as well, and these are definitely features I want to see in like a new console. But I think about like the things that are being pushed right now, which is like, every game having 4K 60 or like 120 frames at 1080 and stuff like that. And it's like, all that's fine. Even like ray tracing, like I've seen the stuff and it looks really nice. Ray tracing is beautiful, but I feel like people are kind of focused more on the visuals than
substance.
Some substance and features. Like, I don't know if you kind of have some features that you would like to see in a new console, but just starting with myself here to give you an example, like I think the one thing that a lot of games is missing, and maybe we'll get a better version of this with these new consoles, and people aren't really talking about it, but just AI in games. So like for single player games, specifically, obviously it doesn't really matter too much for like, once again, like Apex Legends, Worms Rumble. But like when I think about like a single player game, like I think about like the Uncharted's out there, the God of Wars, all these games, like I just want like super smart AI. Like I want AI that can outthink me, outmaneuver me. You know, I just want like an insane challenge from the AI in my games.
Yeah.
And you know, maybe it's something that it's even like an you know, when you're picking your difficulty, it's something that, and I think like The Last of Us Part 2 is kind of like this, where, you know, depending on the difficulty, the AI will be more aggressive towards you.
Yeah.
Which
isn't really smart. They just throw themselves at you aggressively sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah. And I do think like The Last of Us Part 2 is a great example of a game with good, like really good AI. But I wish everybody would come up to those standards and then just keep going with it. Like I would love to see games come out with like I said, like AI that's just outthinking you and outmaneuvering you. Like give me, you know, like I don't as much anymore, but I used to play chess on my phone a lot, and you know, it's like you get to these harder difficulties playing chess, and like you're just getting outplayed by a stupid computer. You're like, damn you, computer.
And you just format the drive. You're like, fuck you, computer, format.
Yeah. And, you know, and it's kind of the opposite of like, you know, I'm not a big fan of like the Dark Souls type games with like these super spongy bosses that, you know, just swing big swords and just do massive damage. And you have to figure out like, you know,
the animation times
to them.
Yeah,
you know, it's like I would much rather have a game where it's like give me a game that, you know, maybe you can kill that dude in just a couple hits, but like that guy's smart. He's gonna just like, you know, outmaneuver the hell out of you. It's like he's not gonna give you an opportunity to like. You can't find a tell because this guy like doesn't have one.
Yeah.
Like give me more of that kind of stuff in games, and I think that's something that, you know, isn't really talked about a lot. You know, everybody, and I think it's a harder sell, obviously. You know,
well, especially
when
now,
you're coming out with a new console.
It's all with the multiplayer, the way it's going. They've stopped. I feel like they've honestly stopped caring about that for the most part for like a few years now, and it's only getting worse with like the way multiplayer has like selling for games and everything. Yeah. No one wants to focus on like, oh, can we make the single player AI better? Even the multiplayer, like if there's a airstrike or something, can we make the AI better? They're not going to care. They're just going to be like, what's more addicting? What's more, you know, what makes people want to play it more? They're not going to ever focus on the AI. Like I remember before other shooters like Call of Duty, I started noticing like in middle school, like that the AI and campaign was very linear, like on a track. And that's why I noticed Call of Duty campaigns were all linear and they were all just on a track because they had no like a personality. You can tell them very clearly running on like a line. And I just noticed the game has no soul. Basically, it's just like it's like a rail shooter.
Yeah, that's what it literally is. Without the rail.
Yeah,
you can move around, but you're kind of just going through these
Disneyland.
Corridors.
It's the Disneyland Cartopia shit or whatever, where you can't go anywhere, but you're like moving the car, but you're stuck. Yeah, you can't run anyone over for some reason. Yeah. Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Very, very true. Yeah, and you know, I wish like Call of Duty is actually a great example. I remember, so Call of Duty 2, not stupid Modern Warfare or any of that nonsense. Call of Duty 2, the second Call of Duty.
It's a good one.
It's an incredible game.
Yes.
And you know, at the time when that game came out, you know, I played that for PC and I was like, man, you know, this like you get into these like these firefights and it feels like the world is like alive.
Yeah.
And it feels like the AI that is around is actually doing stuff.
Yeah.
And
they can aim.
You know, yeah. And you know, I think some of that is still obviously it's a pretty old game now, so you know, they're hiding it really well versus it actually having like really good AI. But
yeah,
you know, that was kind of like a great example from an early game that I have where it's like, man, I just remember the AI being like really at the very least they made me feel like they were like
a part in the journay people, or like, in the story. Yeah. They had what was it, like in the campaign there was a few moments because I played this game like 2 weeks ago, the Call of Duty 2. Like they had a few moments in the campaign where there is non-passable moments. They have Call of Duty isms where it's like, oh, you're not supposed to pass this part unless you do this task, and if you do, you get one shot by a random sniper, and it's like the mission title pops up, you didn't complete the objective. So they have those Call of Duty moments, but for the most part, like a lot of the scripted moments felt open enough and natural that like when enemies attacked, and they had relatively good aiming, and they prioritized, like there were some moments where I'm like, this is an old game, but if I hide behind cover, they'll start shooting at someone else, and then if I pop out again, they'll like they won't notice me immediately until I start shooting. So it's like kind of, they have some realistic tendencies, which maybe it's just lost on Call of Duty's epic extreme explosions, because I think everything is less noticeable now because there's so many explosions and like gunfire. You don't really notice the little finite details. But Call of Duty 2, it's just like very almost minimal in terms of now Call of Duty, but like it's very minimal, and I miss that about the game. Also, the characters of all the campaigns were pretty cool. Like even Captain Price in the British campaign, he's in World War II, and he's in Vietnam and all these other time periods. But
yeah, so that's definitely like an example I remember. But yeah, I mean, I know I keep beating Last of Us's drum here, but it's a great series. But I think the I think the AI in those games is like incredible, where they do, like, for instance, if you have a gun with no bullets and you're aiming it at people, they'll be scared of it. Yeah. But if you pull the trigger and they hear the click, like they're like, he's out of ammo, and will start to like move in. So it's stuff like that where like I just want the AI to think, you know, and respond to like what I'm doing.
They need you've heard of Massive, right? The crowd simulation software, Lord of the Rings. You know how they created, it's called Massive, I think, and they gave the orcs they were the first people to create that for the Total War games. They like popularized the crowd simulation, and basically what we're talking about, the AI thinking, is what they did, where they gave the orcs a task and they gave it like a reaction. So if they got hit by an arrow, they would fall or they would dodge it or something. So that's what I think we want. They wanted to have more of a tree, like more options, like in Red Dead Redemption 2. When you shoot like a storekeeper and they close a store for the day because he's dead, you go back there the next day or something and you see that he's there, but he has a bandage where you shot him in the head, which is cool. And he'll be like, you better not shoot me again, or you better not cause. So I like those interactions are really cool, but they need those interactions, but like in combat, because those are they feel linear still, because you also don't usually interact with them unless you go into the store. So you have to go into a specific story element. But if there's like something where in free roam, I mean, there are entities like AI that will spawn into the open world, but I mean, like, encounters should be more dynamic in general. I feel they should just like, I'm trying to think of what maybe like a mix between like Fable communication, like way back in the day, but like with Red Dead mechanics or something. I don't know. Yeah.
I feel you. So outside of AI, Kayhan, is there any other features for like a new console that you feel like maybe is missing, or just something they haven't talked about that you would want to see in a new console?
Oh man, you're asking a PC boy this? I don't know. I don't.
What would make you want to buy a new console? Let's put it that way, because it's like That's I think a good example of this is like, you as a PC boy, you don't get haptic feedback from like the PS5 controller, Yeah. Which is apparently pretty awesome. I can't wait to get my PS5.
Yeah, I don't have anything to compare that to. I do want to get the haptic suits for my VR shit. So there's a part of me that wants the controller just to try it, but I wonder how much of that's fun and how much of it I'll hate when I play Call of Duty, I get shot, then I fucking get like shocked. I'm like, fuck, every 2 seconds. But it sounds fun. But I think it's hard, because the reason why I get PC, I like, you know what they should add? Modding. If they fucking added modding to single player aspects of the games, I would instantly look into buying consoles. For the longest time, the thing that's kept me on PC gaming, even on old games like Gmod, like from 2005.
Good old Gmod.
Yeah, that's still relevant. Like in all these games, is just modding. The ability to go back in and like mod the game files, you know, if you can create a backup or save, which you can easily do on hard drives nowadays. If you can do that and mod the game, you can remaster old games, add new elements to old games. GTA 5 is still one of the top selling games on Steam only because of the mods. No one's trying to buy Shark credits or whatever the fuck they're trying to push out their ass, you know. Like the game I stopped playing that game until they gave modders the ability to mod again on PC. So they basically like, I don't know, if they added modding, I would go back to console really fast, even with less performance to some degree. If they don't have as much as 60 frames, that's a killer for me. I can't go below 60 frames. But if they had modding, that's my biggest problem. They've never had any sort of support for modding. You have to like jerry rig your console and like add a USB-C or whatever connection, and yeah.
I know Xbox has done a bit of modding with games like Skyrim and stuff like that. I know they've been pretty okay with some games, but you know, obviously it's not even close to like the level of like PC's at, and that's like a whole different beast. And yeah, you know, that's like one of the, you know, I have a PC, but I hardly ever touch it just because I always prefer to play on a console. It just when I'm on a computer, I feel like I'm working.
Yeah.
And when I've got a controller in my hand, which I think is more comfortable than a mouse and keyboard.
I mean,
it's not as accurate.
You could use the USB, like, you know, or USB port for the controller. You could still use that.
Yeah, I just feel like anytime I touch the computer, I feel like I'm working.
Oh,
so, and you know, I grew up as like a console kid, so it's like I don't know, it's just like ingrained in my brain.
Yeah.
But anyways, like, yeah, the modding scene, I have less experience with it. There's definitely games like. Man, I used to play Tribes back in the day. I don't know if you ever played Tribes.
I have to look that up. I don't know if I remember that game.
So Tribes 2 for the PC is like a phenomenal game, and the mods for it were literally insane. It's like think of something like Unreal Tournament, but
this looks kind of like an old Halo. Holy shit, it's crazy.
Yeah, actually, you know, it's very similar to Halo. That's actually a great comparison. Yeah, think about Halo with like jetpacks.
Yeah, that's
and like huge sprawling maps, and they had this thing called the nuke mod, and you could literally like, you know, go across the map. You got like your hover bike. You like go across the map to like the other team's base and sneak in through like a back door or something, and you just have, you know, you can equip this nuke, literally a nuclear bomb that like slows you down tremendously. But if you can get into their base without anybody noticing you and like plant this thing and just set the timer, and you just like haul ass out of the place, hop on your bike, and like people are like shooting at you, like grab the flag while you're in there and like get out.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden they're like, oh no, he set off a nuke. And just like their entire side of the map is just like obliterated.
That sounds pretty freaking fun.
Yeah, man, I miss Tribes so much. That game was great.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, modding's a good one. I think that's a great example of like a feature that, yeah, we probably won't get much of that on consoles moving forward. Maybe the better AI, we'll see. Yeah, obviously more.
You think
more
that'd
RAM,
be standard, but the problem with the AI is like, again, still like, where does the money come from and where do they want to put the money in? So if they see like the multiplayer is the highest performing, they're always just gonna back that. And like AI, the people that are complaining about it are like this mainly single player people, because multiplayer people rarely run into AI. Not like other people, just they don't run into AI usually, so they're not gonna complain about that, which is unfortunate. Because like, again, you know, what sells games? Like, oh, EA says multiplayer doesn't sell games, but then Red Dead Redemption 2 comes out and breaks the market and everything, and their multiplayer sucks in Red Dead 2 for the longest time, and the single player sold the game. And I don't know, I feel like they're just gonna keep making excuses, because it's easier also just to make cosmetics and like other shit for multiplayer more addicting than make a good AI. That actually takes a effort to make good AI too.
Yeah, it sure does. And so, you know, we'll see. You know, obviously these consoles will have more RAM and all that. So, you know, just having more memory in general, I think you can do more of that kind of stuff. But one feature I kind of want to talk about, just because it's going to segue me into a story here is 3D audio with the PlayStation 5 and kind of what they're doing with that. And so last week I was on the show. I know Kayhan, you weren't. You get good.
Yeah.
I was so excited about this 3D audio for the PS5 that I bought. If you're watching the video version, I bought these headphones. These damn 3D Pulse headphones for the PS5. The future of headphones. But not really, in my opinion, because let me tell you something. I got these, and they don't work.
The best.
Like, I've tried to charge them, and they don't do anything. And I called PlayStation, and they were like, yeah, we can't help you.
Yeah, it's an audio embargo. You're not supposed to listen to it yet. It's not time to listen to it.
Well, yeah, that's the funny thing. So I called PlayStation tech support because I bought it through PlayStation directly. So I can't, if it was like Amazon or Target or something, I would just swap it. But I had to call PlayStation directly, and I was like, and there's no option for on their website for even troubleshooting their accessories or the PS5 yet.
Yeah.
And then I called Sony, and this lady's like, yeah, I can't do anything to help you.
I can't. You have to support me.
Yeah, she was like, yeah, I think that only works for the PS5. And I was like, it says right on the PlayStation website, this works with PS4, it works for Macs, it works with PC. Like, it's just the power. It doesn't charge. She's like, yeah, you're going to have to just wait until the PS5 comes out. I was like, but I want to switch this so I can use them with my PS5.
Oh my god.
It was so stupid. Yeah. Anyways, I just wanted to share that dumb story with these dumb headphones. Everybody else seems to love these things. I don't like them right now because I can't frickin' use them.
Zach, boo. 1 star. You're the 1 star on the list of 5,000 5-star reviews.
Yeah, seriously, it's just it doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
And it just sucks.
Damn, that was annoying.
I know, right, Duke? It was
Duke,
so annoying.
Duke?
Oh yeah, our boy Duke. But anyways, I wanted to get into if you had any tech stories. If you don't have any really good ones, I just want to move on.
No, I have one actually.
Okay, all right, let's hear it.
Wait, what were we gonna say? We have a.
I was gonna say we just have other things to talk about. But
oh no,
if you got a real funny one,
I have a good one. So my gaming laptop, brand new. I bought it from the website. Premature. I got this right before, I think a month or two before the coronavirus got really big in LA, and we had to shut down and basically furloughed and didn't have the money I needed to really pay for the shit. So right. The thing I didn't need, but I bought it, and I got it from Asus, and I noticed pixels that were messed up on the screen, dead pixels, and I'm like, fuck. But I had the warranty. So I was like, yes. So I called them and I'm like, hey, I need to return this. And they're like, no problem. The first time, they were really nice. No problem. Just send it with this packaging slip or whatever. Send it through UPS or whatever, and we'll get it back to you within a week. I'm like, all right, no problem. I'll use my desktop for now. I send it. They send it back. Turn the computer on. Now this fucking computer still has the dead pixels. It still has the same dead pixels. They didn't switch the screen. They didn't fix anything. And the software, you know how some computers come with the Asus support software or the Dell support. Yeah. I hate that shit. Anyways, this thing, it makes a notification noise every time you're supposed to do an update, but it was stuck in an update loop. So I think it was every 30 minutes you hear doop 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 in the background, and you can't turn the volume down because it's the system telling you to update it, and I keep updating it, but it won't update. So I called support. I'm like, hey, you guys didn't fix the screen. Also, you added a new problem that didn't exist the first time around. And they're like, oh, we'll send it back in. I swear to God, on my life, even my girlfriend Simone knows, I sent it the second time. They didn't fix it again the second time. Jeez. I sent it to them. So it's 2 weeks has gone by. I haven't been able to play video games, and I had to start lying. I started lying because I had Adobe on my computer so they'd see it. And I'm like, I have to do this project, you guys. I need my computer back as soon as possible. But I really just wanted to play GTA because I downloaded a new mod and I couldn't play it. So I was like, you guys, I need it. I started complaining, and third time they finally fixed it, and I just started complaining like, I need this laptop tomorrow for my project, or else it's gonna be due. I get in trouble. And the person that was talking to me finally felt bad, and she was like, oh, it's a project, it's due tomorrow. I'm like, yeah, it's like my boss is like, I have to get on this now. So she like sent it like priority shipping for me on the house, and I'm like, finally, third time. I earned that. That was like 3 times too many.
Yeah, no, they should have done that anyways.
Yeah, I should have had priority shipping the first time. Anyway, so I finally get it back and it's fixed. But now it's like a big thing for me. End of the story. Moral of the story is like customer support and communication is key. Like when you don't help your customers, like I already know in the future, if I want to buy a computer, I'm not buying this brand. I already know. Yeah. Like I love this computer to death, but it's like the experience alone has pissed me off more than the computer is worth. Like I would have rather just not have this laptop and have money back than deal with this. But
yeah, that's definitely frustrating. And I guess, heck, if we're talking about next gen features, there's a good feature right there. It's just good customer support. And because I called PlayStation twice for my headphone issue. And the first time, which was on election day, they must have just been closed because it rang for like an hour.
Yeah, they were voting.
And nobody picked up.
Yeah.
And then I called back like 2 days later, and somebody picked up like immediately. So I was like, I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
But anyways, I just wanted to tell some funny tech support issues or stories, just because that's always those are always fun, because a lot of times it's just like a frustrating situation with like stupid people on the other line.
Yeah.
So kind of the last thing I wanted to talk about today. Once again, new systems are coming out next week, and just kind of been thinking about the basically just console launches in general. And there's always like, if you're into console launches, you can always get some like fun stories out of that kind of stuff, where it's like you're waiting in line at a Best Buy for like 3 days, or there's you get a console and it's just the greatest thing you've ever played. It's the greatest moment of your life, just because it's like a game and a system you've been waiting for so long, and now it's here. And I've got a couple stories, but Kayhan, I figured I'd kick it off with you first. If you got any funny stories about like have you ever been a big like launch day guy? Ever got a console on launch day, or like just have any fun stories about like a launch day console?
So for GameCube was the only console I got close to launch, but my friends got it at launch, so I played at their house, which like made me piss off my parents till they bought it for me. So the first game they had, I don't remember, wasn't Smash. I'm pretty sure it was launch day, but didn't they have Smash Melee? Wasn't that a launch title?
It was a launch window game. It came out like 2 or 3 weeks after the launch of the console.
When like in the store? What do you mean window game?
Oh, like the release window.
Oh yeah.
For a system is like,
but not launch day.
The first. Yeah, so it wasn't like the first day of the console launch, but it was like a few weeks later.
Because one memory was a Melee, but that wasn't launch day. But the launch day, I know for sure we played. It was like we played Star Wars game.
Rogue Squadron?
Yeah, I believe so. I'm trying to look up. Yeah, I'm trying to look up. And I think it was Crazy Taxi. And then there was one, like a water game. Was
Wave Race?
Yes! Wave Race. That game.
I got you.
No, Wave Race. That game in particular. Star Wars, that's good. But, this movie scarred me. But the Wave Race game, that game was... the shit. For some reason, none of us want to play that game. We played that game last because he got like a bunch of games. His family was like rich or something. Because back then those games were also pretty expensive. Even back then, they were still like, I think, weren't they still like 60 or I forget? But
they're $50 at the time. 50.
That's a lot for back then too. That was old.
Yeah.
But yeah. So basically, we got they have a few games at his house we're playing, and then we got to Wave Race, and we're like, oh, we should probably return this and get something else. And he's like, no, let's just try it. And then for some reason we just played that game for the next 4 hours, and we were doing all the stupid combos because it reminded us of like NFL Street but on a jet ski, where you can do like all these flips and shit in the air.
And like Tony Hawk.
Yeah, where you can just do like, you can like flip on top of the jet ski and like do a handstand for an hour, and it was great. And then Well, the funniest part was when we broke his GameCube because this is like kind of a dumb thing, but he put it on his table, and you know how you have that little handle on the back of the GameCube to hold it?
Yeah. Your lunchbox.
Yeah.
Handle.
So he was showing like his friend. He like when we were done, he like turned it off and he like unplugged it and like he was showing us like, see, look, you can like hold it and do this and that. And like his arm was at the length or at the height of a table corner, and he was doing this and that with it. And I guess he like bashed it, like when he was swinging, he like bashed it into a corner and broke the top part of it off. So it still played. It didn't like break it, but like the top part's broken, so you had to get a new like case cover for it. Because I think when you have your CD case open when you turn it on, doesn't it go to like that main menu first? Yeah. So he had to deal with that bullshit for like I think half a year or something. But yeah.
Well, luckily the GameCube is like a brick.
Yeah, it never dies really.
You could. There were. I remember like people. Like a very old internet video of these people like testing the structural integrity of these consoles, and it was like the GameCube, PS2, and Xbox.
Yeah, was it G4 or something? I think I saw
it. It probably was.
It
probably was G4, and they just dropped them out of like a 3 or 4 story window, and just the GameCube survived, and it was still played. It was like fantastic. But I mean the GameCube launch. You know, that definitely like it holds a special place in my heart because that was the first console that, I saved up money doing yard work and stuff, and I paid for that with like my own money when I was like in middle school, and so that was like a big day for me. Whereas like, I reserved my GameCube at Target, and I saved up enough for the GameCube and I think a memory card and Luigi's Mansion, and I think I started with that if I remember correctly. And that was just like it was a great day where I was able to just walk in that Target in the morning, and by walk I mean the doors open and everybody was sprinting to the the game section. This is before people figured out how to do like launch days, so there's one of those like moments of like people like shoving each other and stuff.
Oh, that's right, because there's no organization, so it's just like they just open the door in general and everyone just sprints to that one section, and that sucks.
Exactly. So. But I mean, it was fantastic. I got the black GameCube and Luigi's Mansion.
That's a good one. I never it was able. Yeah, that's a good one. Damn.
Yeah, I love my cube. But the one other story I wanted to share was with the launch of the PS3, the Wii, kind of that set of consoles. So in those days, like 2006, 2007, I was like a diehard like Nintendo fanboy, like I was like no Sony for me, no Xbox. That's some hot garbage right there. Because I honestly like my opinion is very different than everybody else, but I think the PS2 is like hot trash. There's some good games on it. But I think that the PS2's controller,
you like the PS2 controller
interface. Yeah, I think it's all trash. I hate it all. I think it is just
unpopular
garbage.
opinion.
And it's very unpopular. I like that generation. I think the GameCube, far and away, was the best console.
Oh,
of that
for
generation.
Sure. Wasn't that it was it Xbox One, PS2, right? And then
OG Xbox, Dreamcast, PS2.
Dreamcast. Yeah, I didn't remember that one. I keep forgetting Dreamcast. That's so bad, dude.
It kind of came out and died because of the PS2. But anyways, so I was like a hardcore Nintendo fan at the time. So, the PlayStation 3 came out before the Wii did. I can't remember the dates off the top of my head. And while I tell this story, maybe you can look up these dates. Yeah. For the PS3 and the Wii. But the PS3 was coming out, and me and a buddy was like, hey, let's go razz the PlayStation, the Sony ponies. Let's go and razz them while they're waiting at the GameStop. So we got in his Camaro that has like a convertible top, and he's like blasting Super Mario Brothers music, and I have this like big traffic cone that I stole from the street one day.
It's fucking
and
degenerate.
I was using it like a
like a megaphone.
like a megaphone, and like we just would drive around to like the different Best Buys and the GameStops and be like, yo, the Wii's not out yet. You're in the wrong line. You're about to buy a piece of trash. Like, and everybody's like, boo. And this, like, people are like cussing at me and stuff. This one kid threw a skateboard at my head.
Oh, you should have caught it. Kept the skateboard.
Like, oh, free skateboard. I bet you can skate down the street on that. Skate down the street on that big ass PS3.
Yeah.
But I mean, later on, I would get the PS3 and realize that console was tremendous. Metal Gear Solid 4 changed my life. That
game
like,
legendary. So many cutscenes, so many fucking cutscenes in this.
Yeah, but I love Metal Gear Solid 4. Everything about it, and that's what got me on the Sony bandwagon. Like that game, I saw that game, I was like, yo, this is the future. This is literally what video games should be.
Yeah, like narrative, cinematic storytelling. Like that was the future.
Like I saw a buddy playing Metal Gear Solid 4, and I went out literally that day and bought a PS3. I was like, sold, done.
But it was,
and then I went and I played every other Metal Gear Solid game.
Yeah. Do you play the first one? That's one I played on the PS1. I love that game.
Yeah.
The weird top-down angle and shit. Yeah.
Yeah, I played that and the Snake Eater remake for GameCube.
Oh yeah.
And or not Snake Eater, Twin Snakes, the Twin Snakes remake.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, I just wanted to share a couple of those stories because I just love a good console launch, and it sucks this year because most people aren't doing lines at the store or anything.
Most people don't have the extra money also to buy a brand new console. Yeah. It's still like hundreds of dollars right now, and most people are like hoping they can get their job back, which is shitty timing.
Yeah. But yeah, it's like a combination of that and just nobody wants to go to a physical store and stand in line, and like Sony's even said they're not selling the PS5 in store at launch. It's all online. And it's just like, man, I love a good console launch. Like I remember getting my Switch, like I at launch at a Best Buy and talking to people in line that were so excited. When I got my Wii, I remember getting, like, everybody was so freaking excited for the Wii. And I, like, right after we got the Wii, we drove to my high school, and I was like a theater kid at the time, and went to the theater stage where a bunch of people are at, and we like walked in with a brand new Wii, and everybody's like, ah! Just freaking out.
You should have been like, we would like to play.
Yeah, I mean, it was incredible. We hooked it up to like the big projector screen and all that. It was man, I have so many fond memories of console launches, and this one's gonna just feel different. It's like me in my house with just my girlfriend, and
it'll be unbiased. I think
a bunch of my cats.
We'll probably have the most unbiased launch reviews we've ever had, because everyone will be forced to play either at a friend's house or at their own house, instead of like being, because when you're in line, you're hyping yourself up. It's like video game releases, like with Halo 3 and everything. Yeah. Everyone was in line for that game, and you hype yourself up to the point of, this game's perfect. This game's like Phantom Menace, Star Wars. Everyone the first time they thought it was amazing, and then when they went back to see it again after they calmed down, they're like, wait, this sucks, and they're like, fuck. Because it's like, so there's no hype. There's hype, but there's no like true in-person hype, like other people like building each other up, like other people. So we'll see.
That's actually how I felt about the Halo Infinite kind of the last like gameplay trailer, and kind of the live reactions to that people were talking about, and people were like, oh my god, it looks amazing.
No, it doesn't look.
And then like the next day I was like, on second thought, this kind of looks like booty trash.
Yeah, looking at old game, the game looks like booty. Yeah. Booty cootie right there.
So booty cooties. Yeah. That's right.
Ask Cobb about that.
Bringing it around. Back to booty cooties. Yeah. And that's actually our show too. That's we're right at the end.
Oh,
so
nice.
we're just circling back on the booty cooties. It's a good callback.
Yeah.
I like that. That's
Wait, what does Duke Nukem think about the booty cooties?
Let's see, Duke. What do you think about them? The booty cooties.
You guys suck.
Okay, he. I guess he does not care about booty cooties. But I bet he has some feelings about balls.
I've got balls of steel.
God
Oh, I guess he does.
damn! Don't you have any new
cool.
lines, Duke?
What's that?
Wait, Duke? Don't you have some new lines? Do you have anything cool I haven't heard before?
I he hasn't had a new game in a while, so new things. I don't think he really has. He has too much.
Hail to the king, baby.
Ooh, nice. a Lord of the Rings callback, Return of the King. Nice.
Well, anyways, that is our show. It's actually, it turned out to be a good little show, just the two of us, A little bit of a intimate conversation.
Bromance.
Between little bromance between two friends and, Duke Nukem himself.
It's time to kick ass and chew bubble gum. And I'm all out of gum.
And we're all out of show. Man, that was a great segue right there.
Yeah.
So, thank you so much for tuning in, listening in, watching in, whatever it is you are doing. Be sure to, check us out. iTunes and all that. Leave us reviews. Subscribe on YouTube, youtube.com/multiplayered. And make sure you follow us on like Instagram, Twitter, all that. Mostly Instagram these days, where we are at Go Multiplayered with the old ED on the end. Kayhan, where can we find you?
On Instagram at Damavani Designs, DAMAVANDI Designs. On Instagram.
Very nice. And you can find me personally at Zack Matsganis, at ZACKMATZGANIS. Woo!
See you in hell.
All right, hang on, Duke. Hang on. We're almost done here. But yeah, we've been posting some cool stuff. Kayhan's been posting some things on pictures of Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah,
those are looking pretty cool. I've been continuing to post pictures of the game room, and obviously I'll be posting some stuff on the PS5 here in the next few days. I'm going to take some pictures. I'm going to be playing some stuff, so should be a good time. And hopefully next week I'll have some impressions for you on first initial impressions. So that should be good. So thank you so much, Kayhan, for joining me.
Oh, sure. Always glad to be here. Always glad.
Oh, yeah. And,
is Duke going to say something?
Of course, a big, of course, a big old thank you to Duke Nukem.
Blow it out your ass.
Gee, thanks, Duke. Appreciate it.
Oh, jeez.
But anyways, we will be back next Wednesday after this posting with a new episode. And so stay tuned every Wednesday for all this fun multiplayer action. I've been posting Ghosts and Ghouls.
Yeah, he posted a new episode I think today or yesterday. Yeah, but I just saw it. It's good stuff.
Yeah. So check out all that and check us out every week.
Yep.
Thank you so much, and we will see you next time. And remember, we love you.
Love you.